due to recent events, I've decided to also jump into reporting on current events, especially the ones that will have enormous effects in the United States, and what the potential effects will be around the globe. As you have seen from me in the past, I will remain as bipartisan as I can when speaking about the issues at hand. So for our first subject on the list, let's take a look at one of the recent executive orders that was signed. Understandably, this is an issue of concern for many people, whether it comes from a job creation standpoint, climate concern, or even economic standpoint. The issue here is what is true from both sides, since the mainstream media only comes from the point of the climate crisis and doesn't really talk about anything other than that. Now, I'm not trying to say that the future should be without renewable energy, as I'm an advocate for truly clean and renewable energy, but at this moment in time, we are not equipped in the slightest, which is why I will circle back to this shortly. For now, let's look at the pros that this deal had. For one, this would have created around 11,000 new jobs, mostly in the US, but around 2,800 Canadian jobs as well. There's information going around many social media platforms stating that the revoked permit cost the US 11,000 jobs. However, this is not true technically, as it only cost the TC Energy Corporation around 1,000 jobs. Even if we consider what the State Department under the Obama administration had said, then we'd be looking at the potential of 42,000 indirect jobs, which translates to around $2 billion in wages that could have created with this deal. With the economy in the shape it is now, this is a huge lost opportunity, and I would highly recommend bringing it up. Next, let's talk oil transportation. Pipelines allow for a cheaper, safer, and smoother transportation alternative, which would still need the trucking industry to deliver the oil, but it would be much shorter distances. This does two things. Cuts carbon emissions from trucks and trains, and it allows more money into our economy. Not much more I can say about that really. It's a huge plus. The last positive note I have is technically more of a speculation, as it isn't 100% guaranteed to occur, but let's be honest, it's definitely possible. Gas and oil costs could stay at a more affordable price for consumers due to drastic transportation events. The cons are incredibly heavy, I won't lie. However, we need to consider all the details about the cons, as they aren't as bad as they are perceived by the mainstream. For one, to get the pipeline situated underground, the workers would dig 3 to 6 feet down, roughly, depending on the size of the pipes, and get the pipes situated. I'm no expert on the process that's used, but from what I understand, that's the gist of it. There can be plant casualties if trees or shrubbery are in the way of the route. Plants can be replaced elsewhere. Of course, the biggest problem is when the pipes burst or leak. It causes problems economically and environmentally. Oil can seep into groundwater, making it undrinkable, and can harm all walks of life in the process. Economically, it costs millions of dollars in just cleanup alone. This is another huge exaggeration point, as most people only hear that part and don't consider how long the cleanup takes, how much the economy gains from oil pipelines, or how it's cleaner and more efficient than how we usually transport oil. As I've already explained to you, from a climate standpoint, this has the potential to be harmful. But is it worse than creating lithium batteries for electric cars, the disposal of solar panels? Or is it as dangerous to life as wind turbines are to birds? The answer is clear as day, people. This has a potential, not a guarantee like the modern green renewable energy sources do now. What about cleanup costs? Well, it's between $1,710,000 and $1,503,000 on average per year to clean up mid to large spills. That's if we consider the December 2016 Business Insider article, since it claims that nearly 9 million gallons of crude oil has spilled from pipelines in the US since 2010. We go on a limb and say we're just as bad now as we were over 4 years ago, and we are averaging around $900,000 per year in cleanup costs from leaking and burst pipelines. Not to mention, the current cost of a gallon of oil is between $1.19 and $1.67. So if we do the math, we can see the difference. I know there are sources that say that estimated costs of cleaning mid to large oil spills is between 2.4 and 9.4 billion, and yet to see where those numbers are coming. So we theoretically come out positive economically after cleanup costs. Doesn't seem as bad as it's shown to be. The loss of life is the biggest concern, but we have to believe that the processes and pipelines have been getting better every year, just like most things do over time. Consider the research, everyone. If you like this content, please drop a like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to be notified when a new video drops. Until next time.